So let me take you through a demonstration. So we're now going to log in as our business admin called Hugo. And Hugo knows there's a new retail regulation as part of this promotion that they've launched to make sure that planograms are being checked. So when we have a promotion in the store, when the products are on the shelves of that fridge or of other areas in the store, we need to make sure that everything is in the correct location, in the correct format. So we need to somehow give our users the ability to do that planogram check, and we need to do it quickly. So here we are logged into the Aforza experience as Hugo. And Hugo is in the Aforza admin area, which is where you can control all the different mobile experiences that his team uses when they're in the field. So we can see there's a number of experiences that Hugo's been creating. We've got the delivery driver experience, and we can see the delivery drivers being assigned to that, the merchandiser experience with the merchandisers assigned to it, and then we've got the sales user experience. And we can see we've got the sales users, the key account managers, and our system administrators all using that mobile experience when they log into the Aforza application. So Hugo needs to make some changes. He needs to add that new compliance planogram check into the mobile application. So to do that, he's going to click into the sales user experience. So when Hugo comes onto this page, he gets a number of options available to him. The first is he can change the people that actually use this profile, the sales user experience, so he can add additional profiles on here if he needs to. He can also toggle this from active to inactive, and he can save and clone this if he needs to make new experiences. On this details area, he can enable some key features like auto-downloading visit resources, so if you need your documents to automatically download during your sync, you can. Is the support button enabled in the app? And some other configuration options which will be expanded in the future. But he can also go to the objects, and the objects is where you actually configure what data should be available on the mobile device and who can access it. So on here for the sales user, they have pretty much everything. They've got the accounts, the deliveries, the promotions, claims. But what I want to do is add a new object. So I'm going to go on here and I'm going to select the planogram object that I created earlier. So I've got a planogram check object. I'm going to add that into the mobile application. And when I do that, it gets added to the bottom here. And there's a number of options I can select from. So I want my mobile users to be able to create new planogram checks. I want them to be able to delete them and edit them. And we also need it in the side menu, so it's easily available to them when they need it. And then we're going to put a limit on the number of planogram checks, existing planogram checks that can download to the device, because we want to keep this quite small. So we're only going to say 100 planogram checks will ever be downloaded to the device to make sure that it doesn't impact our sync times too much. And then we've got some other things. We can add smart actions. We could add the ability to sort the records by name or by different type. We could filter the records coming down. All I'm going to do right now is just add a layout. So what this is going to let me do is select the fields that the user needs to enter when they create a planogram check. So I'm going to add a field here, and I'm going to add the account. So I need the user to select the account that the planogram check is for. We're going to make this required. Add a few more fields. I'm going to add in the date that we checked. We're going to make that required as well. We're going to add in the compliance status. We're going to make that required. And then the last but not least, we're going to add in comments for any comments. We're not going to make this required because this is up to the user's discretion whether they enter it. And I click done. So just like that, I can save this mobile experience. And now all of my field team will have this new planogram check capability on their device ready to use when they go into a customer's store. So let's take a look at the mobile experience and we can see how that actually works. Right, so we swapped over to the mobile application. I've logged in as a user here. And if I click on the side menu, I can scroll down and I can actually see the new planogram checks object that's been added into the mobile application. And I can click into planogram checks. And this is going to let me view any existing planograms. And it's going to let me create new ones as well. So I'm going to add a new planogram check. So I've gone into a customer and I want to check their planograms are correct. So I can select the account this is for. So I'm going to do this for the Fresh Start shop that we just sold the promotion to. And I'm going to select today's date. And I'm going to say that it actually was not compliant. And I'm going to say the reason why it wasn't compliant is there was missing stock. and I'm going to go ahead and save that. So now that's saved, and I can push that back up to HQ, quick as that, and now we've got that new compliance check in place, and the data is coming back in, so we can make sure we're auditing it correctly, we can make sure the promotions are compliant, we can make sure any regulatory bodies are happy with the data we're collecting. And it was as quick as adding a couple of new items in that mobile designer experience. And it only took us 2 minutes to do that. And this was just one example of how you could do a planogram check using Aforza and the mobile designer. In a real life scenario, you could use our audits capability where you could actually see the planogram images beforehand and then capture photos as part of that check. So there's a huge amount of flexibility using the mobile designer and using the Aforza mobile applications that let you really tackle your business use cases in any way you see fit. So let's just recap what we just saw. So Hugo identified there was this new requirement that was necessary for our promotions. So he wanted to quickly make that change. So we saw how he went into the mobile designer, how he opened up the sales user experience, and he added in that new promotion check. He changed the layout a bit, so we had the right relevant information displaying and available to the user. And then we could see how our field user was able to go in and actually do that promotional check in the application. So really quick, really easy, fantastic way of managing your mobile experiences for your teams. So let's take a step back. In summary, what did we see? So we saw Aforza guides and how we could actually make those business experiences during execution time perfect every time. Taking the experience of your business users and making sure that all of your field teams have that experience in the palm of their hands. We also saw how we could easily and accurately create orders using the new bundles, units of measure, and promotion capabilities. By doing it this way, we make sure again that our users have all the tools they need in a really easy to use interface, and it's really efficient and quick and accurate when they're capturing their orders. And then last but not least, we saw the new mobile designer and how you can easily change the mobile experience for your different user types depending on how your business needs change over time. So as I mentioned before, these are just 3 of the main capabilities we've released. We have a whole host of other new smaller capabilities and improvements that have come out with this release. Please check the release notes where you can see in detail what we've provided in this Summer 22 release. And like I say, this is just the beginning. We've got a lot of release notes. We've got release documentation and the user guide updated for this release. And then we've also got this great landing page which has all of our new feature overviews, and we'll also include a recording of this webinar once we've completed it today. So with that, I'm going to say a massive thank you to everyone joining us here today. We really appreciate your trust in us and all the feedback we get on the product. And I think we've got time for a few questions and answers, and we'll see if anyone has anything they would like to ask.